Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
At 2:30 in the morning in Wichita due to travel issues. Reed splits the defense. Nola feed. Reynolds punches it.
We won a game and still, like, this one, you flush it, kind of like golfers and tennis players, from one point we move on to the next. So, it's one game that we move on to the next, we flush it, and we start preparation.
Still no return man, so now they will snap it and punt it quickly. And this is going to take most of these seconds off the clock. The ball's laying on the turf. Down to 1, down to 0. Game over. And the North Dakota State Dynasty stampedes forward their 10th FCS championship.
A pretty incredible journey started with a group of seniors that decided after a team meeting to get together and just, what are we going to do? They chose to stay, and once again, there's a lot of evidence with our program. We're on the football program, but those that stay will be champions.
It wasn't just from a draft or just from free agency, but young and hungry can sometimes be pretty dangerous, and most NFL seasons are filled with, highs and lows.
Less automatic. I don't know if that necessarily means he's bad. He's missed an extra point and 2 field goals. But this was a player who you just had absolutely no doubt about. And
I think he's going to play, and if we want to keep it real and just take the emotion and that's hard and the feelings, and he's played good football over the last 2 months. And he's playing winning football, and someone's going to want a winning football playing quarterback.
And I probably will be released to my duties someday because I say something on the show that is inappropriate. Well, that's okay. You're a good donk, so that means you get a little bit more strain. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM as our tribute to Heschwait continues.
There was some better audio than that, but we'll get to it.
Well, there's so much to choose from in just a small amount of of stuff there. We'll get to it. It's a tribute week.
And that was fresh audio. Yeah, I believe you've still got your classic probably not queued up, but I love my job.
Welcome to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM, Tuesday show. Coming up today on the program, voice of the Cougars, Cole Reif. We'll be in to talk about his broadcast strategy tomorrow night as Fort Hays Tech Northwest comes to the Kirkman Center to take on the Barton Cougars. Mike Corson will talk with the voice of the Panthers, Steve Webster, about the Panthers' trip to Liberal and Great Bend's home game Friday against Garden City. And look at him. Did
you hear him get off the step? I woke me up.
Mike Corson goes on the prowl for Panther Sports. Yes, we will welcome in Panther wrestlers Jace and Cal Schartz to the program today.
Yeah, brothers that are, I believe, the highest ranked kids on the team, so it'll be fun to chat. See, the Kelsey brothers, they used to fight at home. It was a big deal, so we'll see if these kids fight.
I was trying to get that out of the Kern brothers. They never really mentioned that. Although I would not want to fight Trenton. Although Hesher said he could take him down.
Glad it's him, not me.
Tuesday sports headlines and the sounds the past 24 hours or so, which will start right now. The call last night in Wichita, Jaden Reed feeds Jameel Reynolds with a no-look pass, resulting dunk. That put the Bulls up 48-30 on the Shockers at Koch Arena. South Florida goes on to beat WSU 91-72. Wichita State had a good preseason record. They were 10-3. Now they've got in the AAC. They've dropped their first 2 games. They lost at Temple, and it was shocking last night when I was watching the video of this game that there was no one there. And then I thought, boy, I tell you, they're not getting any support. Well, I guess it was. The weather was kind of bad last night, so that kept people down. But, man, Koch Arena is a good home court advantage, but if it's not as full and you fall behind 48-30, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
We talked about when they did all the conference realignment. The travel was already bad. You got your football, basketball, your marquee sports, cool. But yet all the other softball, baseball, soccer, all those teams that had to travel didn't really consider the regional consideration. Here in the old Big 8 country, if it's snowing in Kansas, it's probably snowing at Iowa State. It wasn't snowing in Florida when they flew in here. Culture shock.
Well, when they could get in, it was like 2:30 in the morning.
And was it worth it? I mean, they got the dub.
They got the dub. Yeah, 91-72 last night. So the Shockers now 0-2 in conference. They'll be back in action. They play at Texas San Antonio. UTSA coming up on Saturday.
It's different than UTEP. That's El Paso.
UTSA, UTEP. What other ones we got down there?
In North Texas, but
NTSA. I don't know. Jerome Tang talking about what he told his players after they blew a 6-point lead in the final 3 minutes at TCU. It's just all preparation. You got to get ready for the next game. No matter win or lose, it's the same thing. You start to break down the next opponent, which is Oklahoma State. And that was a tough loss, man. You have a 6-point lead on the road, TCU, and you have a chance to go to 2-0 in the Big 12 and get a precious road win. Well, we'll try to do it tonight in Stillwater against Oklahoma State team that is 0-2 in the Big 12, 8-5 overall.
Does Jerome's personality come into play here at some point? If maybe a different guy would be on the hot seat, but we like JT's pretty positive fella.
He's a pretty positive fella, but I think the seat's getting warmer.
I do.
You know, K-State's had a long tradition of guys that are there for a while, but so's everybody else, I guess. I don't know if anyone else has gone to the transfer portal like Jerome Tang has. It's basically a new team every year.
But he was also a bench coach at Baylor, had all that success. So, okay, how good is he? Well, he comes in here the first year. Awesome.
With the point guard that Bruce had recruited.
Yeah, so now he's getting into his class, and he's doing this. It's like, love him, but you got to start winning. Especially, so it's more frustrating when you have the games won and you lose them because that could end up costing you your job.
Well, they even got beaten overtime this year. He'd never lost in overtime. And maybe had he lost half of those overtime games, maybe this seat would be a little bit warmer right now. He is a good dude. I mean, he was out here with the catbacker thing a couple of years ago. Yeah, great guy. But do you ever analyze that and say, okay, he was an assistant bench coach for 21 years. Was he just waiting for the right opportunity?
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Okay. I am in so much fear of having to play at Hilton Coliseum in Ames that I was looking ahead a week. I was thinking, KU played Iowa State tomorrow. That is not the case. They are at home tomorrow against the dirtiest player in basketball, Bobby Hurley. And his Arizona State Sun Devils come into Allen Fieldhouse tomorrow.
Maybe you'll whine about some calls. I'm sure you will.
So that's KU against Arizona State tomorrow. Last night it was Houston winning their 30th straight home game. They beat TCU. So your standings now. We don't have enough time in this segment to run down all the records in the league because there's 16 of them, right? Iowa State, West Virginia, Houston, Arizona, all are 2-0. Well, I guess I do. Arizona State, BYU, Central Florida, Kansas, Texas Tech, Baylor, TCU, and Kansas State are all 1-1. Then Cincinnati, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Utah are all 0-2.
Just like football.
It is. The true old school college football national championship was played last night. North Dakota State getting a punt away under an all-out punt block rush from Montana State. It was unsuccessful. They didn't block it. So North Dakota State players just went down and circled the football. And I was impressed with it because one of them at least thought to touch the ball before they ran to the other end to start celebrating. Because what if they had run to the other end, live ball, the guy comes up, picks it up, they're running to the huddle. It'd be like the band play from Stanford and Cal. They'd be all celebrating down at the other end. How would the officials know that the 11 players that were eligible to tackle the guy that was running the punt back for a touchdown?
No, and it would have been equally comical. So they don't touch it, and then the other team, they're walking off the field with their heads down, and the ball's just sitting out there. And the umpires are like...
And the whistle hasn't blown yet.
If you've ever seen a live baseball play out where there's no call, it's not out or safe because there was no tag. So it's just kind of a dead thing rolling until somebody realizes, hey, this thing's live.
And had the guy run back and you had a celebration going on, wouldn't that be illegal participation on North Dakota State? Because they had 12 men on the field. They had like 39, 40 guys on the field. Anyway, FCS football. North Dakota State wins their 10th FCS title last night. Their head coach is Tim Pulisic. Your boy was there last night, too.
See the soccer...
Chris Kleiman was at the game in Frisco, Texas. He won 4 down there at North Dakota State.
Pulisic is more known for soccer in this country, so I was surprised to hear that this morning.
North Dakota State, 10 FCS championships. They've all come in the last 14 seasons. The Bobcats, though, haven't won a championship in 40 years. They've always been in the playoffs. They're good, but they couldn't get it done last night. So
everything I liked about that clip is he's got the accent. I don't know if he's a native up there, but when I was up in Wisconsin once, it was, we've got some, you can have a Coke or a Pepsi from the fountain. And he just had enough to be like, that's North Dakota.
If you go, I would argue this, okay, if you're going to spend time in the South or spend time in the North, you will acquire the Northern accent sooner than you will a Southern accent. Because we've got a Kansas. We already have a little bit of, but if you go north and spend too much time, you will start saying cocoa,
fountain.
You've got to watch it. It jumps on you early. What's that, Landon? You can speak up on the show. You're
just how you doing there?
Yep. Don't mess around with it. It's like playing with drugs. It's like trying to talk Haste America. If you start talking like that and practicing that and say "Dot's a pickup," you will acquire it very quickly. Gerard Welbach, the guy we're going to talk to tomorrow, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, it was hilarious to listen to his tapes when he was a little kid announcing games because he had the Volga German accent. And Dot's a winner. Down the middle.
See if he'll repeat some of that tomorrow.
I'll ask him about his early play-by-play days. It was great. Gerard finally worked out of that. Okay, how did the Broncos get back in the postseason picture? Sean Payton telling you right there. You got motivated guys. Broncos going to be a handful because Russell Wilson's contract is not going to be the burden. They're going to have a lot of money to spend and below the salary cap because they have a rookie quarterback that's good.
Yeah, so you don't forget, I don't know what the rest of their schedule was. We obviously remember Kansas City winning on the last second on a miracle play.
Well, they started 2-6. I mean, that.
And so he got the ball rolling, and now he's 38-0. I don't care what Kansas City team was out there. It's still pretty solid to hold them to 0 and score 38. And I don't know what that extra win would have done in the standings, but yeah, I'm not going to call them better than Buffalo, but they're not bad.
I think Buffalo should be very, very scared. I would rather see Joe Burrow and Cincinnati come in there than the Broncos. See, I'm jumping on a bandwagon right now.
I'm still on Buffalo's and Detroit, so I'm on my northern teams.
It's on, and you've got the Chargers, who I think will be at Arrowhead here in a week and a half. I think they're going to win at Houston. And that AFC West is going to be, whew. Used to be when the Chiefs lined up for a field goal, I mean, it could be at the end of the game. It's a Super Bowl. You want to beat, so you want to go. Where's my phone? I've got to make sure I've got to. Maybe I ought to get another beer before the championship, before the celebration starts, because Harrison Butker's out there kicking a field goal. Not the case right now, as he got injured during the year, missed another field goal in Denver. How much is your concern level right now for Harrison Butker? 4 You're a team that likes to win games on the final play.
Okay, so to go back to the Texas, was it Georgia game? The kicker misses 2 field goals, so I just casually put on Facebook, somebody's got the yips. 2 days later, my mom doesn't know what the yips are. She's concerned about me. Probably says, question mark.
Now watch Mike come down with, he's got the yips now.
So is this a case of the yips, or is it a case of he's still working through some injury mechanics?
I don't know.
I think it's yips. Because I guarantee you he's kicking field goals in practice.
How do you come down with the yips all of a sudden? It's like
That's what they are.
Tucker from Baltimore, all of a sudden he went through that miserable spread.
This was the best kicker in college football at Texas. He missed 2 at the end. The second one, he can't possibly miss this. It's even closer. So I'd be worried because I just guarantee you we don't have practice footage, but I feel confident that he's nailing him in practice.
Would you want, I mean, we get high stress around here wondering if our guests are going to show up for sports day. Or whether I've got to get this done, I've got to get this done. These guys are going out there, and if you miss like 3 field goals, you're a chump.
And it's forget what you did, it's what have you done lately. So if you go back to the Texas one, just because it's so fresh in my mind, he missed it. It was a big field goal. Now he's set up for the game winner. Coach comes out. They're smiling. They're joking. It's light pressure. You messed it up, buddy. Watch this. You're going to redeem yourself. And he missed it again. And I think, especially after you miss that second winner, it does have to play a mental toll.
Arrowhead Pride's Pete Sweeney saying, well, yeah, I think there's a little bit of concern there. Because he hasn't made every one of them. Harrison Butker went through a stretch where he could hit 59-yard field goals, but he'd miss an extra point now and then. Although that's a 35-yarder now. It's not like it used to be. Chiefs get another week off. You're hosting a second-round game on either Saturday, the 18th, or Sunday, the 19th. The NFL playoffs start on Saturday. The Chargers at Houston. That's a 3:30 game on CBS. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore beat Pittsburgh by 17 points the last time they met. Pittsburgh has lost 4 straight games. But it's Lamar Jackson, Mr. MVP. Would you be surprised if Pittsburgh went in there and beat Baltimore in the playoffs?
No, that's what's funny. I didn't know they'd lost 4 straight, but I actually happen to be a Russ Wilson fan, and it's fun to see the bounce back. But to me, Tomlin's teams are always
has something to do with that too. I mean, but
he never loses up in Pittsburgh, but his teams are always somehow mediocre. So you can't count them out, but it's really hard to bet on them.
It's Lamar Jackson.
But it's too early in the playoffs for him to tank. So I would pick Baltimore.
Landon can watch this game at 7 o'clock on Prime. You know, Landon's got all those odd streaming services.
I have Prime and Hulu.
See?
I tell you what else is on
Party
Prime.
at Landon's house.
If you've got Prime, check out the documentary Chiefsaholic about the guy that dressed up and was robbing the banks. It's 2 hours long. It's insane. On Prime.
That's 7 o'clock Saturday. Sunday, you want good football? Thursday, you've got the Orange Bowl game, Penn State and Notre Dame. 1 game. Friday, you have the Orange Bowl game, Ohio State and Texas. Then on Saturday, you get those 2 games. The Chargers, Houston, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. Then on Sunday, at noon, you get Denver and Buffalo on CBS. Then Green Bay and Philadelphia, 3:30 on Fox. And then Sunday night, you get Washington and Tampa Bay on NBC and Peacock. And then there's Monday Night Football with the Vikings taking on the Rams. Now, the Rams are pretty good because obviously Green Bay didn't want to play them. They'd rather play on the road at Philadelphia. Minnesota and Los Angeles, 7 o'clock. That'll be on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN+.
And isn't it a fun thing? So New Year's Eve always have Little Smokies. Didn't have them this year. Playoff football, I got them last night. I am geared up for this weekend.
Did you eat them last night?
No way.
Okay.
We have playoff football. Gotta have snacks, even if you're by yourself.
How do you cook a Little Smoky?
It's crock pot.
Okay, crock pot.
Sweet baby Ray's.
Okay, okay, that's solid. You ever just taken one out of the package and eaten it raw?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Have you ever put grape jelly on them? It just kind of reduces into a sweet covering. It's weird. Try it.
So are you sometimes, Mike. No one eats jelly on their...
No, it reduces down into a...
You do not eat sugary substances on meat, okay? I'm just saying. All right, Dan Orlovsky, He does. Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdown passes, and the Jets win over the Dolphins, saying that he still has the skills to play if he wants to, and more importantly, if someone wants him.
He's going to be coy for the next 2 months, whether he's coming back. He's already made nonsensical comments, so be high drama again with Rodgers.
And our final sound of the day, Mike Hesher, talking on his final day at the radio station full-time about saying something that would get him fired.
He's limited. He's a
valuable player, though. I think he'd get a little bit more leeway. It's a good donk, bad donk thing.
But he was on the air quite a bit. Now he's down to 60 minutes, so...
Yeah, but he's got a little bit more feisty. If you listen to Trading Post on Monday and Tuesday, oh yeah, you don't mess. It's like a whole new personality with Hesh right now.
Saw him strutting in the hallway. I think
Okay, high school basketball tonight. Hoisington and Larned will not play. The rest of the teams may or may not have school. Oh, you've done a little work here.
Central Plains is off tonight.
So they were one that was going to be decided later. Okay, yes. Central Plains.
And you said Hoisington and Larned.
Larned are done. Now, Hayes again tonight. They don't have school, but Wichita Independent wants to drive up there and play anyway. So they're still going to play tonight. So I don't know what the rule is for. I think things change. I don't think you should have to cancel a basketball game or evening activity just because you didn't have school that was decided, the decision was made at 5 o'clock in the morning.
It's almost like when you're a kid and you didn't go to school because you were sick and your mom says, can't do anything else today. When you're an adult, when you call in sick, you can still go to the grocery store. Nobody's watching.
You think. You think.
I need some Tylenol.
You haven't heard about the Eagle tracker system that they have around here, do you?
I believe I put that on my phone under the guise of something else.
All right, there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours. Cole Rife coming up next. We're going to talk Great Bend Panther basketball and wrestling today, as we'll have the Sharts brothers in to talk about Panther wrestling as they get their season cranked back up this week. It's Sports Day here on KVGB.
Barton Community College's natural gas program gives you the skills and training you need to succeed. Current student Easton chose Barton to get him ready for the field.
I chose natural gas because I saw all the different type of hands-on work that they do. The technology is top-notch. Instructors are very knowledgeable of everything. Anybody interested in a career in natural gas, I really encourage them to come here to Barton. My name is Easton Juneau, and I'm a Barton Cougar.
Learn more at naturalgas.bartoncc.edu. Sini Doors, this is Cindy.
Mia, I passed my test.
Great job, Hadley. I knew counting all those parts in our huge inventory would help out.
Don't forget about the springs.
That's right. We have the most in-stock springs of anyone in western Kansas.
Well, I don't know if our inventory is making me smarter or just giving me a headache.
Garage door service and repairs at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no-obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Rife on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Day here. Voice of the Cougars, Cole Rife joins us right now. All right, give us the...
Well, hey, first of all, I was eating my lunch in the kitchen, listening to the show like I typically do on Tuesdays. I heard the ragging on Bobby Hurley, and I will not have it.
Okay, I wanted you to rank those because I said that and I thought, well, that may not be absolute because, I mean, you got to throw Leitner in there as being the dirtiest Duke player of all time. Then who was the other one?
JJ
Then
was just
they had another one, though.
I don't know if he was dirty. Grayson Allen was the dirty one.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, there's so many to choose from. So if you're going to rank the dirtiest players,
I'd say Christian was number one, for sure.
Well, he did stomp on the guy's chest.
But I mean, like, Christian is openly, like, he admits that he was that guy. Now, Grayson will deny, even though there's video evidence.
Believe?
The jury's out on Grayson Arroyo. I think he has a few mental issues from time to time that he loses it. JJ was just cocky. I mean, he was good, white boy that was cocky.
Yeah, but he didn't
really do anything dirty, I don't think.
I don't know, Bobby Hurley. Because when I said it, I thought, well, no, there's been dirtier players.
Oh, sure.
Dude.
I mean, he's probably in the top 5 or 6, but yeah, Christian.
Who are some other dirty players at Duke that we're not even thinking about right now?
Dirty players?
I mean, Grant Hill was, and he was the All-American boy, right?
No, Grant's a saint.
Yeah, but
Elton Brand was from time to time. I mean, he was just really physical. I mean, especially in that style, like a small power forward. Like I say, small. He was kind of undersized, but like he was just kind of like a bowling ball he could wreck through. So every once in a while, he got a bad rap for that. Greg Paulus was in there. That's another one of those point guards that got under people's skin a little bit for his abilities.
Abilities are just doing nasty things.
No, abilities. I mean, this is a guy that went on to play Division I football after he spent 4 years playing Duke basketball. He went and was the starting quarterback for Syracuse his senior grad year or whatever it was called. So, no, those are abilities.
I saw something come out today on AP when you mentioned Syracuse. It was on the AP. The Syracuse quarterback made the all-bowl team. I didn't know that they had this. Have you ever seen the all-bowl team?
Wait, so they're selecting from all the bowl games?
Of all the bowl games now. Is that what we're trying? Is that called college football CPR? I mean, well, I made the all-bowl team. Maybe with all the incentives with NIL or just paying players, it's like the NFL now.
Yeah.
Coaches have to run guys out there so they can get their $1,500 for, getting to 300 yards rushing on the year. I don't know. But there you go. Check it out. It's the all-bowl.
All-bowl.
Okay, give me the play-by-play tomorrow night on how you will describe a fast break basket by Fort Hays Tech Northwest.
They're going to be Mission Tech a lot. I still like Fort Hays Tech rolls off pretty easily. But like you're trying to say Fort Hays Tech Northwest, that's too much. But there's still you talk about like geographical location. Yeah, I mean it's Northwest. But I think mostly they go by Fort Hays Tech or just Tech.
And are they the Mavericks? Is that?
No, they're the Tigers now. They switched over, so they're all FHSU Tigers.
Are they red anymore?
No, they switched colors, which is really good. Because when we do go to Max Jones Fieldhouse, they will match the Goodland High School colors, which worked out well. Like I was the first one, like when they switched and officially made the switch, I was the first one. I was like jumping, like finally, because that bugged me to no end.
Oh, you come out there and they'd have red and blue or red and black.
Yeah, they would be red and black Mavericks, and then they come out here and it's a great facility. I mean, it's an older facility, but it's still one of the most unique facilities.
Max Jones?
Yeah,
absolutely
great spot. But it just feels so weird when the Mavericks came out there. So yeah, we don't go out there until like early March. I think it's I guess it'd be late February. But yeah, so it'll be a while. But yeah, it'll finally match the jersey colors for the Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tigers.
Remember Northwest Tech? I mean, they got into the league because that was
about 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they made that new rule because Hutch ended up having to play him in the first round. They always went down there. Yeah,
well, they always got the automatic 10 seed. So they always had to go on the road, no matter what.
That changed after that year.
Because I remember the Northwest women's team one year. I think they had one loss, and they came into Grape Bend and played Barton, and they were like 29-1 or 28-1 or something like that. And it came in, and Barton ended up beating them, but it was still a really good game.
Okay, so Fort Hays Tech Northwest. Their men got a big win last night. What about Spoon out at Dodge City, man? At 94-91, Tech Northwest beats Dodge City last night. Dodge City now 2-6 in conference, and Fort Hays Tech Northwest will come to Grape Bend with a 2-7 record in league play. They're 3-9 overall. The women, well, they're not as good as that team that was 29-1 because they got beat by Dodge City. You said he was really, really good.
Yeah.
104-28 last night. So
yeah, Dodge was up 53-9 at halftime. 53-9 at halftime.
And then they probably went on a big run to start the second half to put the game away then, right?
Yeah, I mean, Fort Hays Tech, I mean, they're in struggling times. And they haven't won a game on the women's side. They're out-rebounded by 40 in that game. Shot 20%, I think under 20% in that game. So, yeah, they're definitely under struggles.
Did Jeremy Combs? I didn't listen to the game Saturday. I was enjoying snow and looking forward to getting the snow blower going and stuff. So was that a message that Coach sent? I mean, sent it in some of the bench guys in the first half when they were down by 11?
Well, you look at the two stars with Britt Moss and Drake Kendall. I mean, I don't think either one of them really had it. I mean, it's just one of those weird games coming out of the Christmas break, and then, obviously you throw in the weather, and it's early January, and it's a non-conference game. Albeit, I was really excited about that matchup. Mineral Area is consistently good. I mean, they've been 20-plus wins for more than 10 years in a row. 29-3 last year. Had an argument to make it the national tournament if they had a better strength of schedule. So I was really excited about, that non-conference game in early January. But, for everybody else, it's still kind of a weird thing. You're getting back, whatever. All those excuses that, every team has in that first game in January. But you look at the two star power in Drake Kendall and Britt Moss, they didn't have it. I mean, Drake had a couple turnovers in the first 5 or 6 minutes that were just kind of careless. Neither one of them were really producing offensively a whole lot. So, and then Kendall got hit with that flagrant foul about 12 and a half minutes ago in the first half. So, at that point you put him to the bench. And then, even if there was a thought of bringing him back in, the next guys that came in did really well. That's when they went on a pretty good run, built up an 8-point lead at halftime. And so, but then not to start them in the second half, that's probably a message that, hey, you guys are our studs. We know you're really good. You know what you're going to do at the next level, but, at the same time, you still got to produce. You still got to, bring it. So I thought that, those next guys had played really well. And what I've really liked, even with the injuries before Christmas, was, their hand was forced, but they built some depth. Like Lina Brooks, had a huge game, 20 points, 4 for 4 from outside. James Parlow has played exceptionally well.
Really good.
Yeah, even right before Christmas, he was playing well, and had that double-double at Dodge City. He goes for 22 points, career high for him. So now you develop those two players, and you built those confidence that you kind of knew that those guys are coming. And, Coach Combs even said, they expected Parlow to be one of those guys, and now he's on that level. Aris Rodriguez has played well over the last, go back before Christmas. So now you build some of that depth. You're just waiting for, Modibo Sonogo to get back in that lineup. He still has that calf injury that he suffered against Seward County, so he's missed the last 2+ games. So, waiting for him to get back. And once he does, let's go. Because the conference, it opened up a little bit, because this past weekend, Coffeyville got a win against Butler.
And Cali both got beat, right?
Yeah, so in Hutchinson's playing better. They've won 3 straight, so now they're going to be capable, I think, of knocking off some of those big teams, and already proved that of getting a win against Cali. So now it opens up a little big game. Hutchinson and Butler play each other tomorrow night, so that's going to help. If Hutch can go and get a win against Butler, that helps out a little bit, pulling everybody closer to the, that number 1 spot. Cali still has to play Butler before the first go-around is over. So, there's a good possibility to creep up a little bit closer in the top of the standings.
Okay, so Fort Hays, Tech Northwest is in town, and then the Cougars go to Colby on Saturday. Colby winning last night. Seward, it's just weird to look at Seward with a 2-11 record. It's just... Colby wins 79-59, and on the women's side, Seward beat Colby 65-59. So what looms for the Cougars on Saturday against Colby on the road?
I think on both sides, Colby's playing better. On the men's side, you can kind of see it toward the end for Colby that they're going to get better, but they're still having their struggles. They had a first-year coach last year, and now he's back for his second year, and they're playing well. They, strong argument that they probably should be Hutch at Sports Arena earlier this year. They've been giving some teams a good run. So that team's talented. Colby's playing a lot better. And even the women, big improvement because, Colby was always at the cellar. You talk about Fort Hays Tech and then, but Colby, they were always in that mix too, just, really struggling basketball program. So by their standards, I feel like the women, they're playing even better this year too. Look at the record; they're 5-4, and the Jayhawk 10-5 overall. They've won back-to-back games now with that win against Seward County. So just the fact that they can beat teams, Seward's not the same Seward, but still, just the fact that Colby is beating teams like that, some of those brands, says a lot about that program for where they were and what they're doing now. So that won't be easy on either side.
One more question before you go. I think you said this before the new year. Dodge City's better than Hutch.
I think so. Side. I think so. I mean, just the eye test of what you've seen. I think, you get the edge, defensively to, Hutchinson a little bit, but offensively, it's just hard to keep up with Dodge, especially if they're hitting at just even their average clip from outside. I think they average close to 33s attempted per game, and they're hitting 11 or 12 per game. So, if they're even close to that percentage, they're really, really tough offensively. And then defensively, they have probably more size and length than Hutch does. But that should be a good one. That'll be the last game of the first go-around. So, coming up here in about a week and a half or so.
Okay, well, you got your homework now because you thought that you took my comment about Bobby Hurley, and now it's turned into, God, do we have 10 dirty players to rank? There may be more.
Cherokee Parks, maybe? Trace and Langdon, maybe, I don't know.
You've got some candidates to sort through. Cole, thanks.
You bet.
Cole Reif, voice of the Barton Cougars, with us here on the program. We're going to talk Panther basketball coming up next on Sports Day.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend,
Grayson was there's no question.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Reif, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Booster is helping with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
When you run a fleet business, delay is a dirty word. What fuels me to stay on schedule? My clients, their clients, and everyone's bottom line. What fuels my fleet? Cenex Roadmaster XL. A premium diesel fuel formulated with its best additive package yet to clean the entire fuel system from power, maintenance, and better fuel economy.
At that time, you need
Cenex Roadmaster XL. Fueled by
See, I don't like
innovation,
Hunter
powered
because
to perform.
Contact
American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Pendleton, president of your local equity bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson in a non-prowl segment with voice of the Panthers, Steve Webster.
Great to be here. I'm glad you invited me to the program today.
Make it through the cold okay?
Yes, I really did.
Some water
the power
right?
stayed on. The power stayed on. That was the key.
Well, so you were already busy. We're thinking they haven't had school since, I don't know, November, December. Already had basketball games the Friday following New Year's, which was about, 3 days after. So you get to see a few games, and you get that break, so they get to work on some of the weaknesses. What did you think that first game out in 2025?
I don't think you could really tell too much from it on the boys' side because Liberal had so many guys suspended. One of their starters had quit. 5, 6, you really didn't know. They got down to didn't want to practice over the holiday break. And, of course, now, since it was only Saturday, Brant Rogers, who had great success at Ness City, won a state championship, trying to turn things around down there. And you kind of got to feel bad for him. You go in there. The Liberal has lost 26 straight Western Athletic Conference games on the boys' side. That's incredible.
Hayes is always good. Great Bend's been good. You would have thought, yeah, Garden or
He throws someone in there.
Dodge,
Yeah, because I think they went 18-3 the last time they had a winning season, and then it's just dry. So you're trying to change the culture, right? And then you have players that don't want to come to practice or miss practice over the holidays. And the thing that hurts is that they're upperclassmen. So, I mean, they've got a good freshman class. We saw that. I mean, their starting quarterback, the Cotter kid, was starting quarterback in football. I mean, he's one of those guys. I think he's a better football player than he is a basketball player. So, no, you couldn't really tell anything from it. On the girls' side, Liberal girls, they lost a couple players from last year, but one of them handle the ball all the time. They've had problems with turnovers. Then you have Shamari Lewis, who scored 32 points, the daughter of Martin Lewis, one of the legendary high school athletes of all time. And Great Bend stayed right with them. Great Bend's showing improvement. They were down 26-23, but what has happened, I think right now, is Jade Winter goes through and tries to find out who can play and who's not. They get caught up in lineups sometimes when you have Bryant, you have McCauley, you have Meredith Mazook played almost the entire game. But you get these lineups out there that no one's on the floor that can score, and a team just goes off on a huge run, 23-3 in that from the second quarter to the third quarter. So I don't know if the Lady Panthers are 11 deep or not, but you're seeing some improvement right now with the top players who are, I mean, they've had trouble scoring. They came in the game averaging 31 a game, and there they are. You've got 23, and it's 3.5 minutes to go before halftime. So the improvement's being made there. I don't know, can they continue that? They'll face a good Garden City team on Friday that's off to a nice start, 5-2. But we'll see what happens there. As far as the boys go, couldn't tell anything. Except that Ian Creamer can dunk it a lot. So
boys side, I've never really been talented at anything. So coaches want you to play this way, execute this and that. When you go into a gym and you just kind of throwing balls off the backboard, 6 consecutive dunks, 10 dunks in 3 quarters, do you worry that eventually at some point you're not going to be able to do that and you're going to have to play old school basketball?
Well, I think they can play old school basketball, but the big knock, and everybody's saying, well, they can't shoot the three-pointer. Well, no, they can't. They haven't shown it yet, although Ben Nicholson did have a couple three-pointers. He went into that game 2 for 18 from 3. Ben was a 38% three-point shooter last year, so that was a good sign. But can you do that all year? Ian Creamer, Mike Barzoff and me come back from Liberal on Friday, and I told him, I said, I haven't seen as many high school games as you have over the year, but is Ian Creamer one of the best high school? Can you stop him? Because he can get the rebounds and just tear them away from everybody. Just throw it up there and just hit the rim and let him get it. But he's such an impactful player. I think even if you go in and try to take him away, you're going to leave Omot out there on the wing that he can drive to the basket. He doesn't have to shoot three-pointers. You're doing it that way. So I don't know. Three-point shooting is a weakness right now. It's something I'm saying is going to get better. But can you win a state championship like that? I don't know. It's going to be fun to find out.
But and maybe even how the shot clock improves that, because it's supposed to speed up the game. What's it going to do to teams that maybe don't have an outside shot? Will it kind of level the floor with who can score when and where? But yeah, I always look at Premer and I'm like, man, we think of him as a football player. He's big, he's powerful. He's not a pure basketball player. Well, what is a pure basketball player? He's a score. If you put him inside, he's going to score and rebound.
Okay, so how many looks would he be getting right now if Ian Creamer just said, I don't want to play football. I'm just going to focus on basketball. Where's the level of recruitment coming from? And he's just a basketball player. Who's recruiting Ian Creamer to play basketball?
I already got at least the one from Kansas State, Division I, Big 12, but he's still a junior. So there's so much upside still. You keep saying
he might play in high school. I didn't see him play a whole bunch of games. And probably Dean could shoot the three better than Ian can right now. But as far as physical presence,
And then you were like, well, gee, where'd Dean Wade go? Oh, he's kind of starring for the very good Cleveland Cavaliers. So the bar's a little high there. So it's fun for Ian just to get even mentioned and stuff like that. Real quick on the girls' side, I believe Liberal came into the season ranked. Hayes is going to be ranked in 5A most of the year probably. given that score on that Liberal game, where's Great Bend standing in the WAC this year? We haven't seen much.
It's going to be Dodge City, probably the team that you've got to beat. Garden City, Hayes, and Liberal are going to be out of their reach, and I think Hayes is out of everybody's reach right now. Already Hayes put 77 on that Liberal team in the first meeting, so I think this is the best Hayes High girls team that we've ever seen come out of there. So.
And I think you talked with Connor, what was it, last week? Molly Martin's been a 4-year kid.
Yeah, now no one talks about her anymore.
New kids.
Yeah, Molly Martin, and now she's not mentioned. We've got this another hot shot freshman in here now. So we've got to run. You've got wrestlers coming in here.
Don't want to make the wrestlers angry. When we come back, we will be talking to Panther wrestlers, both of them ranked, brothers Cal and Jay Sharts.
Coming up next. Yep.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmy's, make it happen.
And so far, we're going to
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Step into the spotlight with Barton Community College's theater program. Whether you dream of performing on stage or creating magic behind the scenes, Barton offers hands-on training, expert guidance, and creative performance opportunities. With top-tier facilities and a supportive community, you'll develop the skills to shine. Turn your passion into a career and start your journey to the stage at Barton. Learn more at theater.bartoncccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local equity bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KBGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by a pair of Panther wrestlers that just happen to be brothers, and they both happen to be ranked in the top 5 in their respective weights. We've got freshman Cal Sharts, senior Jay Sharts. How we doing, fellas?
Pretty good. How about you?
When's the last time you guys had school?
Man, it seems like it's been forever. I'm not even quite sure. Beginning December, it's been a long time.
Been a while. I thought you guys would have had it Monday, but you didn't, but it got snowed out the last 2 days. So I'm like, you know what? It's time to have some wrestlers in studio. So thanks for joining us today. Cal, we'll start with you. Freshman coming in. I've known you a little bit. Known you guys are wrestlers, but number 2, what are you, 113?
Yes.
Expect to be climbing the poles that high, that fast?
Well, I knew coming into the year I was going to wrestle number 2, so pretty excited for that. The plan was to beat him and climb, but I didn't expect to beat him that bad.
And I will say, so brothers here, and you're the little brother, who got this started, and how big is it to have 2 of you going at it?
Well, really no one in my family had really wrestled a whole lot, and I was always competitive, and so when you could only do rec sports at a young age, and really the only competitive thing there was wrestling, so my dad went ahead and threw me into it, and I wasn't very good. And then when I was about 7 years old, we met, the Ball brothers from Hoisington. So we met the 5 Ball brothers, and I started working out with them. I got good fast, thanks to their dad, Bruce, and those 5. And so then Cal came along, and so we had all this knowledge that we gained from Bruce Ball, and so we were able to give it to Cal, and Cal could start even earlier than I did.
It turns out those guys, I think all five of them state champs.
Yeah, all 5 of them are state
Brandon
champs.
had 4 of them.
Yeah.
Just having that sibling rivalry, or maybe there's not even one, but do you guys do you get extra reps in because you're just always around wrestling?
So we're able to talk about little situations and positions a lot more, and we're both good at different things. So he's a lot more explosive and a shooter. I'm more of a scrambler. So he's able to say things that he knows to like defend, the scramblers, and I'm able to say like how I defend someone that wrestles with his style. So it really does help quite a bit having 2, top-notch guys, even though 'cause we can't wrestle together, hard, but we could talk about little positions and situations to help each other.
And you're both, Jace, you've established yourself as it's no strike against you, a tech fall guy.
Right.
But so I was like, is Cal going to do the same thing in a lot of tech falls this year? What is it about a tech fall versus a fall that you guys specialize in, Cal?
Well, I think that the tech fall, it's just, not as many people go for tech falls. They get a lot more pins. So I think it's just more impressive. So you go for it more.
It's really just, to be dominant, and a lot of times if you go out there, you wrestle 30 seconds, you don't get as much work in, a lot of things, and if I just go ping it, like, maybe they just got lucky. If I go beat you 15-0, you're like, I don't ever want to step on the mat with that guy again. And I'm getting close. I think I'm 8 away from breaking the career state record. So, as long as I stay healthy, I'm hoping to break that state record here pretty soon.
We're talking to Great Bend senior Jay Schartz and freshman Cal Schartz, a pair of ranked wrestlers who happen to be brothers. Yeah, so when you get onto the mat and probably you're going to dominate maybe 15-0, 18-3, something in there, is it just hop in, get 3 points, hop out? Is it kind of that mindset, or just kind of still reading what he's giving you every time?
Yeah, it's pretty much just beat you as bad as it can. No matter who I wrestle, it's score as many points as possible. And, you don't really want to look at if you're going to win or lose. If you go out there, the mindset, I'm going to score as many points as I possibly can. Normally good things happen. So, that's kind of what we've developed in our mindset, is just go out there, and if you score as many points as you can, normally good things happen.
Cal, how's the adjustment been to high school varsity sports? I know kids can get pretty intense in all of the tournaments you guys have been to, but I always see high school varsity as a different sport. What are your thoughts on being a varsity wrestler?
I think I like it a lot more because there's just more people here. Because tournaments the last couple years, pretty much none of my friends or any of them wrestle. So I go to tournaments, it's pretty much just me, and maybe Jace is there, so I don't really have anybody to warm up with. But at high school, everybody's there, so there's a lot more partners. And everywhere we go, there's people to talk to.
And Jace, I'll take you back to, regional championships? You had Cade Smith of Hutchinson. Cal, were you there for that one down Arc City?
Yes.
And so you see the atmosphere of what those big-time matches can be. So, Jace, you're ranked number 3 behind Means from Bishop Carroll and Cade Smith from Hutch. Is it just a 1-1 split between you and Smith?
Yeah, and we'll wrestle this weekend. Yeah.
What is that? Do you throw the rankings out the window, or do you like going in kind of as the so-called underdog?
I don't think I'm going to lose, I'll be honest with you. He's ranked number 1, but I'd go in there, I'm pretty confident in that match.
That regional final, kind of walk me through that one just because it was fun. What did it go, sudden tiebreak or ultimate tiebreak?
So I still think I should have won that match more than what I did. I caught him on his back a couple times when I bounced his score any points, but we did go into sudden death. And so basically he scored first because he picked down the second, so he got to pick down again. And neither one of us had rode each other. We both got out. But I did happen to ride him the 30 seconds to win that one. And then he got me in overtime in the state semis.
Good luck this weekend. One more maybe on your weights here. So are you up to 165?
Yeah, I'm
Jace?
65.
What did you start out at?
Like as a freshman?
Yeah.
I was 145, but I had Wyatt Weber below me. So I only weighed like 141, 142. But I couldn't go 138. So my freshman year, I was pretty small.
Well, Cal, you play 3 sports, football and baseball, so 113, you're obviously a freshman, probably going to put on some weight. Like hanging out at those lower weights, or are you kind of waiting to get up into those middle weights?
I like for being a freshman, the smaller weights are a lot better because you don't wrestle as many upperclassmen. But for the other sports, it's definitely important to put on some weight.
All right, one more here. We've seen you guys in the fall. Cal, as a freshman, got a tiny bit of varsity time, but Jace was obviously the running back. Jace, you're going to do some new stuff this spring?
Yeah, I think so. I hurt my ankle got a high ankle sprain in the Hayes game, so we got to get that cleared up. But yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to run the 100-meter dash this spring, so that should be fun.
Well, Lashley's one of our favorite guests, and I like my track, so we hope it'll be fun to see. And Kyle, what are you going to do this spring?
I plan on playing baseball. I think it'll be fun. And then after the high school season, I'm going to go play with my 15U team.
And what do you play in baseball?
I play catcher and center field.
Excellent. Well, Jason, Kyle, good luck this weekend and all the other matches this season. Thanks for joining us on a cold winter day, and look forward to covering you the rest of the year.
Thank you, Mike.
More Sports Day after this.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center. They want to give a shout out to all the supporting cast of these basketball.
I'll probably turn that into a written feature.
We have some great young men and young women on the court, but we also have some great young men and women in their instruments, cheering, dancing, all those things. Let's clap for them when they perform and get done. Let's show them a round of applause. Show them some love as well, because they deserve it. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
Doors, this is Hadley.
Hadley, what are we going to do today?
You have to work at CD Doors. What if there's another power outage?
You're right, Hadley. People rely on us to be able to get into their houses and businesses. That is why we sell electric operators with battery backups and have been serving the community longer than needed.
Does that mean you're getting old, Papa?
Not old, experienced.
Garage door service and repair at CD Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead into financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. So I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Good stuff. That's why we have Sports Day. Talk to the kids, man. I mean, it's
we get some of the regulars in here, and Jace has kind of become a regular, but knew Kyle when he was little, so how awesome to could have a long career across a few sports, so good to get him in here.
I like that. Just crush somebody 23-2.
And they both do it.
You know, and hopefully get Trent Kern back here because he's still injured right now. You know, Trent, I mean, of course, I don't know if you can do that, but just pick him up above your head and just throw him in second row of the bleachers. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better just to throw him outside. I don't know. Great interview. Thanks. Appreciate you.
I'm trying. No, that was a fun one. Just no school. Who are we going to get today? Hey, I'm calling some wrestlers.
That's awesome stuff. Yeah, no school today. Great Bend doesn't play basketball until Friday. Hoisington, Larned, their game's postponed. Other games nearest Central Plains is off. Call your school, check the website or the Twitter page. Find out if your team plays tonight. Talk to you tomorrow.